Hello everyone, I'm Major Mohammed Ali Shah. It's my proud privilege and honor to be in a conversation with a very, very illustrious former army officer, a lady officer. Well, I'll not say a lady officer only, right? She is an inspiration to many people, among ladies especially, and that's why I said lady officer, but an officer who has inspired many to join the armed forces. And she was one of the first lady of the, in fact, not one of the first lady officer to have handled the UAVs in the army, and is furthermore, and her journey is truly very, very inspiring. She's an animal rescuer, an animal lover. She has done a lot for the love of animals, and that speaks a lot about the great heart that she's got. Anyhow, without further ado, let me go ahead and welcome someone who is an inspiration, Major Prajakta Desai. Major Prajakta, good evening, Jai Hind.
Good evening, sir. A very Jai Hind to you. How are you, sir?
Very well, very well. Such a pleasure to be in this conversation with you. Tell me one thing. You were commissioned into the Army Aviation Corps, and I had not seen an officer from the lady officer from the Army Aviation Corps. इससे पहले. So
Yes.
though the I don't know flight where the corps where I was the ADC in the Northeast, they used to wear this very smart dangris of aviation. आपका भी हमने वो photos देखी हैं. It's all over social media. They get viral very very soon. So tell me, what was the motivation behind you to join the army? Firstly?
Sir, I have always dreamt of doing something that is unconventional. As a child, also, my parents used to say, when the world is going in one direction, you will always run towards the other end. And I do not know why, but I always thought that one must not limit themselves in a kind of a cocoon, or think that, if the world says that these are the kind of streams that a woman should go for, and that is what you need to achieve in life. I've always been a person who wanted to get into the armed forces because, obviously, sir, as a child, the uniform is the charm. When you see anybody in olive green with the stars or the Ashok stamp on the shoulder, it is altogether a different feeling that you get, a different feeling of patriotism. My journey honestly started when I was 8 year old. My father had taken me to watch the movie Border. And so the opening scene when the artillery is firing on the enemy is so intriguing. The first thing I ever thought was I should have been a boy. I should be born as a boy so I could join the army. Little did I know then that the army has opened its doors for women since 1992. And I think, so the seeds of, like, passion, determination, or doing something for your country were sown very early by just watching that movie. It continued, and that thought never left my mind. It was just homed on somewhere in my heart and my mind that when I grow up, I will get into the armed forces. I will get into the army. Slowly and steadily after school, I joined NCC. Then I went into college. Luckily, sir, I had a group of friends who were all in for the armed forces. Everybody was preparing for CDS, SSB, and the FCAT. So being in such kind of a group where people were very intellectual, more than me, made me more focused on my career, and was like that, if these students can do, so can I. Because I've always been a misguided, sir, unguided missile. मैं 100 चीज़ें सोचती थी, पर हाँ, ये पता था कि आगे जाके मुझे सिर्फ आर्मी में जाना होगा. So these people were very instrumental in pushing me towards one direction. And that's how, so slowly and steadily things went ahead. And finally, I could get into the army. And getting into army aviation also, sir, for me has a story. I'll let you also know why I chose army aviation.
Right. Batao, I would like to hear. Actually, I didn't want to interrupt you at all. I was just hearing you and I was so intrigued. जी हाँ.
So, I have this craze for aircraft, and when I joined NCC, I was a part of Air Wing NCC. So there we had something known as aero modeling, where they would make miniature aircrafts, those which are controlled by radio control sets, which fly aero models, and that developed my liking for aircraft more. And initially, I thought I will get into the Air Force in the flying branch. Crazy as it sounds, because I'm just 5 feet and I knew I don't qualify the medical eligibility criteria which is laid down by the Indian Air Force.
One
But
second, you are
some
5'8" in height. You're 5'8" in height.
the 5 feet, sir, 5 feet, just five
Five
feet
feet.
in
Okay.
height. Yes, sir. So, and getting into the flying branch requires us used to be around 5'4" and above. That's bare minimum. And the medicals is so stringent, even a centimeter here and there, and you are medically out. So I knew it's not something that I can go for. But I had this crazy dream of flying everywhere in my room where I used to sleep. I used to sleep on a loft in my house. वहाँ पे सब मैंने पिक्चर्स लगाए रखे थे of then some serving officers जिनके articles आ रखे थे. So finally, when somebody convinced me saying that you will not make it, I thought of why not become an air traffic controller. So I also applied for FCAT, and similarly, I had also applied for OTA as well. I cleared my SSB for OTA first, and I got my joining letter. So I was always in a dilemma. Olive green पसंद है पहनने के लिए, but aircraft ज़्यादा पसंद है, so Air Force में भी जाना है, air traffic controller बनना है. But yes, Army being my first love, I joined OTA. And when I was in OTA, we got to know that Army aviation was started in 2008 for women officers to come as air traffic controllers. And I think then I thought the universe has aligned everything what I wanted. And we had just one seat. And from day one, I was this crazy person telling every of my lady cadet in the academy, I am going for Army aviation. This seat is mine. And I had so much focused my energy on that. I had worked hard like anything in the academy. Finally, I had applied also. Four of us had given our names during our declassification for choice of arms, and thankfully I made it to it because probably I was dreaming of getting near the aircraft since I was a college student. So that's how Army aviation happened for me.
Wow, wow, that is so brilliant. So tell me, did you learn anything about in army aviation? You did you learn anything about flying as well on the by side? Like, of course, you dealt with UAVs and you dealt with a lot of things, but did you get any experience in learning how to fly off the?
So I had learned flying very much in advance. That was in 2007 when I was a part of NCC. We had this camp. There was selection of certain cadets. So I have around 5 hours of experience on microlight flying. I had flown Zen Air and Exair. They are typical microlight aircrafts, propeller driven. They are in MDA and in some NCC institute as well. So I had learned flying over there. Then I had also had around 32 launches of glider flying, which was there in Nasik, a sail plane completely like a proper aircraft, but it just sails and it is winched up in the air. So it is sailing on the hot currents that we have. It takes a circuit and comes down. So I had around 32 launches on that. So I knew what aircraft is. I knew a little bit of flying. But yes, in Army aviation, I could never because obviously that's on a professional front. I have sat many a times in the helicopter when we go for operational recce's. Being a ATC officer, I had to. Apart from that, also when aircraft used to be on ground, I used to make it a point for the pilots to tell me, okay, tell me what are the instruments, how does one sit, how do you strap up, and I've done all that just for my happiness, sitting in the helicopter which is parked. Because I was having this kind of a craze to learn more and more things. So I kept my knowledge updated. I used to keep reading about the helicopters also, in spite of not being a pilot, because I always felt knowledge doesn't go waste and it's very close to my heart till date.
Wow, wow, that is so cool. And you joined the OT in 2010, if I'm not mistaken,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes.
And the same you were commissioned.
So in 19 March 2011.
11, right? So आप ये बताओ, tell me about your training days and how was it जब आप, because you came from a civil background, and so when you entered the portals of the St. Thomas Mount Officers Training Academy, how was it initially when you entered inside for our youngsters who would want to join the army? And I'm specifically saying this, you know what happened परसों रात को 2 nights back. In fact, you were there. In fact, you opened परसों रात को नहीं, ये 10 तारीख को द आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग की जो टॉक दी थी आपने दी थी 10th को, 11th
Yes.
को मैंने दी थी. And incidentally and interestingly, the host Savni Upadhyay, she spoke to me on the phone and she said, "Sir, my height is very short and I want to join the army and I can only think of the army. There's nothing else I want to do." So I wasn't too sure what the qualification mark is and what. So आप तो जानती होंगी उनसे एक बार बात कर लेगा वो नासिक से हैं. So she was speaking and I'm from the regiment of artillery.
So,
So we have a center there. So she was, yeah. So tell me about your academy days. जब आप first, how was it in your first day?
so before that, I would just like to tell I have been trained on UAVs, were handed over from you to us. So I have Nasik is the alma mater. On one side we have aviation, the other side we have artillery. So Nasik has been an alma mater for me because I had been in the School of Artillery learning UAVs in 2019 to 2020, and then on the other side also because we have Army Aviation. So yes, Nasik is a place very also close to my heart. And so talking about the academy, I'll tell you a couple of things beforehand. So when I cleared my CDS, my SSB and everything, my merit was 21. I was 21st in the merit and the number of seats were 10. So somewhere in my heart, I had decided that probably this is not your attempt. You would have to wait for more 6 months. Go for the next one in case you clear everything. So I started working in a BPO because I wanted to support my family. I didn't want to become kind of a burden in spite of being a graduate. I said that I can't stay home. I started working in a BPO. So I would call up from that BPO. We had the facility of doing STD calls. So I used to call, and that was free of cost. So I used to keep calling up Delhi every time asking Army headquarters what is the status of the seats. So one day the NCO on the other side told me that he just said that to me, beta seats 10 se 20 nahi hogi. He's like, I don't want to make you feel bad, but that is the ground reality. 10 se 20 nahi hoti, but फिर भी आप उम्मीद मत हारना. So every day, so this went on for a couple of months. I was already a late joinee, sir, when it came to joining the academy. And finally, sir, seats became 20 and I was again 21 in the merit. So the knife was hanging on my neck till then. And finally, they happened to take 23 cadets. The first 23 in the merit. I don't know how, from 10 to 23. Probably I was destined to go. So while I was working, I was also building up my muscles because I knew a couple of friends of mine who were already in OTA, IMA, who were telling how difficult the training is. So I used to avail all the free services of my office. I used to go in the gym and work out very heavily over there. And I was a person who used to think that मैं बहुत strong हूँ, मैं ही मैं हूँ, and I know कि मैं academy में जाऊँगी and I'll crack everything. But I think that is the disguise one has about their strengths before going into the academy. First day when I went there, as I said, sir, I was late for 2 weeks. So the cadets over there were being punished. They were made to do push-ups, and one senior of mine happened to tell me, "You do one push-ups, and I give you a kind of a gift." And because I was doing little bit of workout here and there, I went on to do 20 push-ups straight. And all my lady cadets were like, "ये हमें अभी रगड़ा दिलाएगी." प्राजक्ता की वजह से we are going to fall in trouble because this girl does a lot of push-ups. So my debut in the academy was good, but later on, sir, जैसे दिन चलते गए, when you have your own first haircut, you feel like you've turned into a complete boy. Then you're made to wear company uniforms whole time. आप barracks में रहते हो, you're cycling everywhere. You have to be in a squad, and so it is never ending. Your day starts so early, 4 o'clock, 3:34, you're up. Then after 10, after lights out, also you have your unofficial punishments. So my legs used to pain a lot, and I used to keep crying to my overstudy and tell her that, "Ma'am, my legs are, gone. I feel I don't have legs." So then she used to help me out.
One sec. ओवर स्टडी आपके टाइम पे दो कोर्स थे क्या लेडी ऑफिसर्स के?
Yes, sir.
हमारे टाइम पे एक ही कोर्स था. Like
Sir,
for gentlemen officers, for gentlemen cadets, there were two courses, but for lady cadets, there was only one course at that time. Okay, so you had senior and junior. तो
yes,
खूब
sir.
लड़ा खाया होगा भाई.
I
खूब
was
लड़ा
in the
खाया होगा.
SS batch, sir. We are from the SS1. From 87 onwards, they started women not as WS but as SS, where training was for
Yes,
1 year and service for
yes,
10.
yes.
Yes, sir. So I had my overstudy. She would really help me out. And sir, I'm a big foodie. You don't give me food, I'll start crying or I'll be so cranky throughout the day. Till date, I am that way. I don't get my meals on time and I just keep whining. So in academy, when you are given just 5 minutes to have your meals, you're not able to eat it. So I used to always think that मैं कहाँ आ गई, what is happening with me. But slowly and steadily, sir, academy puts you on a grid. It gets you all on the right platform, and I think you sail through it. Because at the end of the day, so I think what goes on in every cadet's mind is that after 1 year, I'll be standing there, passing out from the drill square, putting ranks on my shoulders. I'll be called a lieutenant and will be commissioned. I think that 1 day or that 1 hour which we'll have after 1 year is sufficient for anybody to take all the drills that we have in the academy.
Wow, yeah, wow, that is so amazing. That's like really, really amazing. ये बताइए, you used to go to the SB booth, you used to call up the army headquarters for vacancy, whatever. आपका passion था. At the same time, on the contrary, apparently a little bird told me that you had called up your father on the first day and told him, "Don't call me. Only if someone dies. God forgive
Yes.
me. आपने ये कहा था, only someone dies you call me. Shows your passion and your commitment and your dedication. तो वो क्या कहानी है? बताइए वो please.
सर एक्चुअली आई कम फ्रॉम अ टिपिकल मिडिल क्लास फैमिली. इतने कोई पैसे नहीं थे पेरेंट्स के पास के दे अकम्पनी मी ऑल द वे टू चेन्नई, ड्रॉप करके वापस आ जाए. सो मेरे पापा ने किसी फ्रेंड के साथ टाई अप किया था कि बेटा आपको टिकट निकाल दी है, यू गो विथ योर बॉक्स एंड योर बैग. आई जस्ट टुक माई एंटायर जर्नी अलोन, फर्स्ट टाइम इन अ ट्रेन. पहले बार अकेली चली गई थी. एंड ओवर देयर one uncle came, he made me sit in the cab, said 200 rupees dena isko and he will drop you at OTA. When I went in OTA, the time I entered, I was excited. But the second moment, it felt very heavy that for 1 year, you're not going to see your parents because your parents are not that, financially strong that they would come in months to meet you on a Sunday. That won't be possible. So I knew. And phones were not allowed then, sir. So I wanted them to worry. So there was an orderly over there, that Akka, she was sweeping the floor. I requested her, I said, can I have your phone? And I had a very heavy voice. I was about to cry. I don't remember my mother's number till date. My father's number has been the same since years. I took her phone, I dialed my father's number and I told him that this is the adjutant's number. Please call up only in case someone dies. Till then, don't call up. I am fine. And whenever we get the person next to call, I will call you on a Sunday, which was obviously after a month or so. So I thought rather than, sir, having them call me up or worry about me, I just cut the cord there and there. I said कि ठीक हूँ मैं, गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, फौज है, कुछ नहीं होने वाला, आपकी बेटी सेफ है. Just remember not to call up. Call up only if somebody dies. I'm going to be here. Just concentrate on my academy. So I'm a person, if I have to achieve something, I just cut off all the things around so that my focus is in one place. And I've been doing that since long. So.
So focused, that's amazing. No, it has just struck 18 minutes and 18 minutes से मेरे को याद आया that TEDx का भी और TED का भी फंडा होता है 18 minutes का, and you are much in demand for TEDx. TEDx has been approaching you. आपने TEDx talk आप दे आए हो, कुछ talk आपकी YouTube पे upload नहीं बाकी है, कुछ talk के लिए आप अभी जाने वाले हो. So tell us a bit about, because you are a motivational speaker much in demand. A lot of people I know, they are trying to get through to you and it's difficult to give everyone time. So tell me first about the TEDx जो आपने दी हैं.
So till now I gave two TEDx. One was at NSUT Delhi. The second one right now, a few days back, I had been to IIM Sirmaur in Himachal. Organically, people started approaching me, sir, because I started this journey of motivational speaking when I left the army. So I was connecting with a lot of youth, those whom I know through my place of Mumbai or through friends. And I realized that, sir, इतना टेक्निकली एडवांस होने के बावजूद भी लोगों को पास अभी भी नॉलेज कम है. There is a disconnect that they have, and they have some preconceived notions of what the armed forces demand or what the armed forces look for in a person. So I was thinking, so that I have a little amount of experience, not much that the other officers have, with my 10 years of service that I have given. Why not share it with the students? So because I have come from that side, I know I did not have the money to go in for some fancy classes or to put in a lot of money taking some written exams and all. So I know what challenges one has, especially when one comes from not a privileged background. So I said, if I can use my expertise, not expertise, but some knowledge that I have gathered in entire service of mine and give it to students. Why not do that? And with that very intent, I began doing my lives. I began making some reels and talking to students, and more so is interacting in person. I have so many messages in my DM, and I connect with everyone and tell them that this is how it is to be done. Sometimes it's food spoon feeding also. Sometimes it is just some people are so smart, you just give them some references and they catch it. So it started over there. Slowly and steadily I started giving lectures in NCC institutes, in college, in schools, and then finally it grew that I was so thankful that two of the TEDx talks have approached me. I gave my talks there. One is lined up in November, and I hope I'm able to just spread the message out and just make people understand two things. So first is, nothing is impossible in life. If a person like me, who comes from a very humble background, simple place, has no fancy privileges, can make her career, so can you. And second thing is, armed forces is not that difficult to get into it. If you have the right qualities, they will pick you up. So these two were my motives, to guide and motivate the students. And till now, sir, it has been quite I would say helpful to the students and have helped people. So till now, sir, if I remember the count well, there are 14 students who've got recommended, or I don't have any classes. Just come back to me and told me that, ma'am, because of your help, or because of your lives or stories or your messages, we were able to crack SSB, and you were an integral part of our journey in getting recommended. I have not put anything on social media because I don't like doing that, sir. But 14 is the count that I have till now.
Wow, wow, that's brilliant. Sorry. So tell me, you haven't put anything on social media, but आपके Instagram पे you have whole lot of followers. I mean, they go in thousands of, and they're like, भाई कितने अनगिनत हैं आपके followers. So have you focused? I mean, do you upload very regularly on Instagram, or or if at all you do, why not this? I mean, there's no harm. It's something which is good, which you must.
So because I feel I am not an assessor, I'm a person who is speaking out of experience. So if this has helped somebody, then I'm happy that they are recommended, rather than put a story and say that these are my recommendations. This is something I refrain from doing. As long as somebody is happy joining the academy, I feel there was nobody guiding me, there's somebody guiding them. So like more and more Prajaktas are being made, and I'm really happy with that.
आप मेरे को ये बताइए, before I let you go, I'll ask you one this last question, that you are doing so well as a speaker, as a professional motivational speaker. You're a multiple TEDx speaker. In fact, the Art of Living, the webinar we did recently, you were the opening speaker, which is the main speaker, which is a very, very big deal. Just yesterday, we were together on a national television channel. We were talking over there. So as a speaker, you are much in demand. तो आपको कैसा लगता है, being a professional speaker, did you know at one time कि ये भी एक profession हो सकता है?
ऑनेस्टली नहीं सर, ये मुझे आइडिया भी नहीं था कि ऐसा कुछ प्रोफेशन होता है. तो सर, मैं ना बचपन से बहुत बोलती हूँ. मेरे फ्रेंड्स भी मुझे हमेशा बोलते थे, प्राजक्ता जस्ट स्टॉप, यू टॉक सो मच. एंड आई ऑलवेज लव्ड इंटरैक्टिंग विद students. I mean, those who are in my college, maybe 1 or 2 years younger to me, in NCC. I'm a person who likes to give all the knowledge that I have. I did that in my chemistry. I did that in my NCC. I did it everywhere that I went. So probably I think वो मेरे में इतने सालों से वायर हो गया कि अपनी नॉलेज अपने पास जितना हो लोगों को बताना है, उनकी हेल्प करनी है. And slowly and steadily, when I went on social media, it, I think, formulated into becoming a speaker. And so now that I know it's a profession, I would like to take it in full swing, like a full-fledged profession, because it is something that is gives you, I think, a helper's high. You are able to help others and also create a mark for yourself.
You already are. You are already doing so well, and there are so many people making inquiries about you. They would like you to come and give talks. Just yesterday, you went to one of the leading colleges of the country. I mean, you addressed them. In fact, so it's been really, really amazing. And Prajakta, before we part ways, before I let you go, any last message? See, my cat is also appreciating you. By the way, I have a cat. Since you are fond of animals, we have a dog and we have a cat. They coexist together in the same house. Okay, so so the cat is appreciating you. So just take that as appreciation. Now, before we part ways, I would like to ask you any last message you would like to throw out in the universe from Major Prajakta Desai for everyone.
So I would like to give message to all the youngsters and the younger generation today that life is tough. Life will never be fair because I come across so many students saying that I'm having anxiety or depression or things are not falling my way, negative thoughts coming. I would like to tell them that this is not new. This has been happening to humankind in generations, and it is going to happen. So what one must do is just give a blind-sided eye to all these things. If I know I have to achieve something in life, I have taken a responsibility of something, we must just put these kind of blinders that are there on horses when they run in a derby and just keep running. मैं लोगों को हमेशा ये कहती हूँ सर, अपनी दिशा में सिर्फ भागते रहो, अपनी मेहनत करो, do your hard work, and the main important thing is to never give up, because the motivation after some time will die. All you need is just consistency and a never give up attitude. If one is resilient enough, you dream of anything in the entire world, it will come to you. I have always believed in the law of attraction. मुझे नहीं पता था उसको law of attraction वगैरह कहते हैं. तो मैंने तो जिंदगी में से यही देखा, जो मैंने सपने देखे, मैंने उनके लिए काम किया, मेरे सपने सही हुए, मेरे सपने साकार हुए. So I think the universe actually conspires to give you everything only and only if you have the right intent and you have all your things to give it in one flow for that specific task. अगर हमने 1% भी left and right doubt रखा तो चीजें नहीं होती. You have to be so clear about your aims, and I feel life is once. Why not, go and achieve everything that you dream.
Very well said by you. Thank you so much. You are so inspiring, and thank you. God bless you, and I hope you keep getting these assignments as a speaker. I think there's some network issue. Yeah. Now I think you are doing great service to a lot of youngsters. In fact, they are inspired and motivated by you. Thank you so much, Major Prajakta. It was a delight being in conversation with you. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir. The privilege is all mine. I'm so honored to be here. And once again, thank you for giving me this opportunity, sir. Jai Hind, sir.
Thank you for giving me your time. Thank you.